You're playing the wrong game. You spend your energy trying to make people like you. You avoid conflict to keep the peace. You say yes when you want to say no. You suppress your opinions to stay agreeable. You compromise your standards to remain friendly. And what do you get in return? Nothing. People like you, but they don't respect you. They're comfortable around you, but they don't value you. They enjoy your company, but they don't follow your lead. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Being liked is worthless. Being respected is priceless. Likability makes you forgettable. Respect makes you unforgettable. People who are liked get invited to parties. People who are respected get invited to opportunities. Which do you want? This is about understanding the fundamental difference between two types of social power. Likability is surface level, emotional, temporary, and manipulable. Respect is deep, rational, lasting, and earned through demonstrated value. Niccolò Machiavelli spent his life observing power dynamics. He watched likable leaders get betrayed and destroyed. He saw respected leaders maintain power even when feared. He learned that in the real world, respect beats likability every single time. But before we dive deeper, let me be absolutely clear. This isn't about becoming an arrogant jerk. This isn't about being mean or cruel. This is about shifting your priority from being liked to being respected. When you optimize for respect, people might like you anyway. But when you optimize for likability, you guarantee people won't respect you. Today, you'll discover why the pursuit of likability is destroying your potential and how to unlock the dark power of respect that creates real influence, real opportunities, and real power. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose respect over comfort. Before we continue, if this message is hitting you hard right now, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. And tell me in the comments, have you been prioritizing being liked over being respected? Has people-pleasing ever cost you an opportunity? Share your experience below. Now, let's unlock the dark power of respect. Number 1. Likability seeks approval. Respect demands standards. When you try to be liked, you mold yourself to others' expectations. You become what they want you to be. You change your opinions, suppress your personality, and compromise your values to maintain approval. This makes you likable, but it also makes you weak, inauthentic, and ultimately forgettable. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What he understood is that people who try to please everyone end up respecting no one, including themselves. Your attempts to gain universal approval guarantee you'll have no consistent principles, no authentic identity, and no real power. Respect, on the other hand, comes from having standards and maintaining them regardless of social pressure. Here's what happens when you prioritize likability. Someone asks you to compromise your values to fit in. You want to refuse, but you don't want them to think you're difficult. So you compromise. They like you for being flexible, but they don't respect you. They know you'll bend your principles for acceptance. You've taught them that your integrity is negotiable for social comfort. Someone criticizes your work or your choices. You want to defend your position, but you don't want to seem defensive or create tension. So you agree with their criticism, even though you disagree. They like you for being humble, but they don't respect you. They know you won't stand behind your decisions. You've shown them that your convictions are weaker than your need for approval. Someone asks you to participate in gossip or behavior you find problematic. You want to decline, but you don't want to seem judgmental or superior. So you participate. They like you for being one of them, but they don't respect you. They know you'll compromise your standards to belong. You've demonstrated that your values disappear when peer pressure appears. The pattern is always the same. Chasing likability means abandoning standards. Every time you compromise what you believe to avoid disapproval, you sacrifice respect for temporary comfort. Let me tell you about two people in the same social circle. Tom wanted everyone to like him. He agreed with whatever opinion was popular. He laughed at jokes he found offensive. He participated in activities he didn't enjoy. He never voiced contrary opinions. Everyone liked Tom because he was so agreeable, but nobody respected Tom. When serious discussions happened, Nobody asked his opinion because they knew he'd just echo whatever sounded acceptable. When difficult decisions needed to be made, nobody consulted Tom because they knew he wouldn't take a real stand. Rachel had clear standards. She voiced her opinions even when unpopular. She declined activities that didn't align with her values. She called out behavior she found problematic. Not everyone liked Rachel. Some people found her too opinionated or too firm. But everyone respected Rachel. When serious discussions happened, people wanted her input because they knew she'd give her honest perspective. When difficult decisions needed to be made, people valued her judgment because she'd proven she had principles. The difference wasn't personality or capability. The difference was that Tom prioritized approval while Rachel prioritized standards. The psychological principle here is that humans instinctively respect consistency and conviction. We might like agreeable people for casual interaction, but we respect people who demonstrate clear values and maintain them under pressure. Inconsistency signals weakness. Conviction signals strength. Here's how you shift from seeking approval to demanding standards. First, identify your non-negotiable values. What principles matter most to you? What standards will you maintain regardless of social consequences? Write them down. Make them explicit. These become your foundation that you won't compromise for likability. Second, communicate your standards through behavior, not announcement. Don't tell people your values. Show them by how you act when those values are tested. When someone asks you to compromise a principle, simply decline without elaborate justification. Your consistency speaks louder than your explanations. Third, accept that having standards will make some people uncomfortable. They might pressure you to be more flexible, more agreeable, more like everyone else. This discomfort is the cost of respect. People who benefited from your lack of standards will resist your new boundaries. Let them. Fourth, surround yourself with people who respect standards, not people who demand compliance. Some people will respect you more for having clear values. Others will like you less because you're not as easy to manipulate. Choose association with the first group. They're the ones who matter. Fifth, notice how the dynamic shifts over time. Initially, maintaining standards might feel isolating, but gradually you'll notice different people gravitate toward you. People who value integrity, consistency, and strength. These relationships based on respect are far more valuable than relationships based on pleasing others. When you stop seeking approval and start demanding standards, you stop being liked by everyone and start being respected by people who matter. That's the trade, and it's always worth it. Number 2, likability avoids conflict. Respect embraces necessary confrontation. When you try to be liked, you avoid any situation that might create tension. You let problems fester. You ignore boundary violations. You suppress disagreements. You pretend everything's fine when it's not. This keeps interactions pleasant temporarily, but it destroys respect permanently because everyone knows you won't address difficult situations. Machiavelli understood that conflict avoidance is weakness disguised as peacekeeping. He wrote, "Men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, but of more serious ones they cannot." What he meant is that half measures and conflict avoidance create more problems than decisive confrontation. Respected people address issues directly when necessary. Liked people avoid issues and hope they disappear. Here's what conflict avoidance actually creates. Someone disrespects you in front of others. You want to address it, but you don't want to create a scene, so you let it slide. They like you for not making things awkward, but they don't respect you. They know they can disrespect you without consequences. You've taught them that your dignity is less important than social comfort. A team member isn't pulling their weight. You want to have a conversation, but you don't want to be seen as the bad guy, so you pick up their slack. They like you for being understanding, but they don't respect you. They know you'll compensate for their failures. You've shown them that accountability doesn't exist with you. Someone repeatedly crosses boundaries you've set. You want to enforce consequences, but you don't want to seem rigid or unkind. So you keep accepting the violations. They like you for being flexible, but they don't respect you. They know your boundaries are suggestions, not limits. You've demonstrated that you don't respect yourself enough to enforce your own standards. The pattern is clear. Avoiding conflict to be liked teaches people they can treat you poorly without repercussions. Addressing conflict to maintain respect teaches people to treat you well or face consequences. Let me tell you about two managers with different approaches. Manager A avoided all conflict. When team members had disputes, he'd hint at solutions but never directly address issues. When someone underperformed, he'd hope they'd improve on their own. When someone behaved inappropriately, he'd ignore it to keep morale positive. His team liked him because he never made anyone uncomfortable. But his team was dysfunctional. Problems escalated because they were never addressed. Poor performers stayed poor. Good performers got frustrated and left. His team's results were terrible, and eventually Manager A was replaced. Being liked didn't save his position. Manager B addressed conflict directly when necessary. When team members had disputes, she facilitated difficult conversations to resolve them. When someone underperformed, she had clear feedback sessions with improvement plans. When someone behaved inappropriately, she addressed it immediately with consequences. Not everyone liked these confrontations. They were uncomfortable, but her team was high-performing. Problems got resolved quickly. Poor performers either improved or left. Good performers stayed because they appreciated the accountability. Her team's results were exceptional, and Manager B kept getting promoted. Being respected built her career. The difference wasn't that Manager B enjoyed conflict or Manager A was incompetent. The difference was Manager B was willing to have uncomfortable conversations to maintain standards, while Manager A avoided discomfort at the expense of everything else. One was respected and successful. One was liked and failed. The psychological principle here is that boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions. When you avoid confrontation, you signal that your stated boundaries don't actually matter. When you address violations directly, you signal that your boundaries are real and violations have costs. People respect enforced boundaries. They exploit unenforced ones. Here's how you shift from conflict avoidance to necessary confrontation. First, reframe conflict as maintenance, not attack. You're not creating problems by addressing them. You're solving problems by confronting them. The problem already exists, whether you acknowledge it or not. Confrontation is simply bringing it into the open where it can be resolved. Second, address issues early when they're small. Don't wait until resentment has built or the problem has escalated. Early, calm confrontation is much easier than late, emotional confrontation. When you address things promptly, you prevent small issues from becoming big crises. Third, use direct communication without aggression. There's a difference between being confrontational and being aggressive. You can address issues firmly without attacking the person. Focus on specific behaviors and their impacts, not character judgments. When you interrupt me in meetings, it prevents me from contributing effectively, is direct without being aggressive. Fourth, prepare for discomfort and accept it. Confrontation will be uncomfortable. That's normal. The person who can tolerate that discomfort long enough to address important issues is the person who earns respect. The person who flees at the first sign of discomfort sacrifices respect for temporary comfort. Fifth, maintain your ground even when pressure increases. People who aren't used to you confronting issues will try to make you back down. They might get defensive, accuse you of overreacting, or try to make you feel guilty. Hold your position. The test of whether confrontation builds respect is whether you can maintain it under pressure. When you stop avoiding conflict and start addressing necessary issues directly, you stop being the person people walk over and start being the person people respect. The temporary discomfort of confrontation is always worth the lasting respect it creates. Number 3, likability gives everything away. Respect maintains scarcity. When you try to be liked, you make yourself completely available. You're always there when anyone needs anything. You give your time freely, your energy endlessly, your resources generously. You think this generosity will make people value you. Instead, it makes you common, taken for granted, and ultimately disrespected. Machiavelli wrote, "Benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way, they will taste better." What he understood is that abundance destroys value. When something is always available, it becomes worthless. When something is scarce and must be earned, it becomes precious. Your constant availability doesn't build respect. It broadcasts that your time has no value. Here's what unlimited accessibility creates. Someone asks for your help. You immediately drop everything to assist them. They're grateful the first time. The second time, they're thankful. By the 10th time, they just expect it. Your exceptional responsiveness becomes their normal. If you're ever not immediately available, they're annoyed. You've trained them that you have nothing more important than their requests. Someone wants your expertise or advice. You give it freely and extensively to anyone who asks. They appreciate it initially, but soon they stop valuing it because it costs them nothing. Free advice is worth exactly what people pay for it. Nothing. You've devalued your knowledge by making it universally accessible. Someone wants your time for socializing, networking, or casual conversation. You're always available, always saying yes, always making time. They enjoy your company, but they never prioritize you because they know you'll always be there. You've taught them that access to you requires no effort, so they make no effort. The pattern is consistent. Unlimited availability creates the perception of low value. Strategic scarcity creates the perception of high value. Let me tell you about two consultants with opposite approaches. Consultant A was always available, responded to emails within minutes, took calls anytime, gave extensive free advice to anyone who asked, accepted every project offered. He thought this would build his reputation and client base. Instead, clients treated him as low value. They negotiated his rates down because they knew he'd accept. They changed plans last minute because they knew he'd accommodate. His calendar was full, but his income was low. His availability had made him seem desperate and therefore worthless. Consultant B was strategically scarce. Responded to emails within 24 hours, not immediately. Only took calls during specific hours. Gave limited free advice, then required payment for more. Accepted only projects that met his criteria. He thought this might limit opportunities. Instead, clients valued him highly. They paid his premium rates without negotiation because they knew he had other options. They respected his time because he clearly valued it. His calendar was selective, but his income was exceptional. His scarcity had made him seem valuable and therefore worth paying premium prices for. The difference wasn't capability or quality. Both were competent. The difference was perceived value based on availability. One broadcast abundance and got treated as cheap. One maintained scarcity and got treated as premium. The psychological principle here is simple. Humans value what is scarce and dismiss what is abundant. This is true for resources, opportunities, and people. When you make yourself constantly available, you signal low value. When you maintain strategic scarcity, you signal high value. Here's how you shift from unlimited availability to strategic scarcity. First, stop responding immediately to everything. Build in delays. If someone emails you, respond within a day, not within minutes. This signals you have priorities more important than immediate response. It also trains people that you're not sitting around waiting to serve them. Second, say no to requests that don't serve your priorities. You don't have to help everyone who asks. You don't have to attend every event. You don't have to make time for every person. Declining requests strategically makes your yeses more valuable because they're not guaranteed. Third, charge for your expertise when appropriate. If people want your professional knowledge or skills, that has value. Don't give it away to appear generous. Charging for your expertise signals that it's valuable. Free expertise signals it's worthless. Fourth, create access requirements. Not everyone should get your time equally. Close relationships and high-value professional contacts get more access. Casual acquaintances and low-value requests get limited access. This hierarchy signals that access to you must be earned. Fifth, maintain boundaries around your time and energy. Have times you're unavailable. Have requests you don't fulfill. Have limits people must respect. These boundaries create the scarcity that generates respect. But here's the sophisticated element. Strategic scarcity isn't about being distant or unavailable to everyone. It's about being selective. The people and projects that matter get your full attention and availability. Everything else gets limited access. This selectivity makes your attention valuable when you do give it. When you stop being universally available and start being strategically scarce, people stop taking you for granted and start respecting your value. The time and energy you save by being selective can be invested in things that actually matter. creating even more value and respect. Number 4. Likability seeks consensus. Respect makes decisions. When you try to be liked, you avoid making decisions that might upset anyone. You seek everyone's input, try to please everyone, and end up making weak compromises that satisfy no one. You think this democratic approach will make people happy. Instead, it makes you appear weak, indecisive, and unfit for leadership or responsibility. Machiavelli understood that decisive action commands respect, while endless consensus-seeking broadcasts weakness. He wrote, "A prince ought to take care that he never lets anything slip from his lips that is not replete with the 5 qualities that he may appear to him who sees and hears him altogether merciful, faithful, humane, upright, and religious." Notice the word appear. He understood that seeming decisive and principled matters more than actually having everyone's approval. Respected people make clear decisions and stand by them. Liked people try to make everyone happy and end up making no one happy. Here's what consensus seeking actually creates. A decision needs to be made. You spend enormous time gathering everyone's input, trying to incorporate everyone's preferences, attempting to find a solution everyone loves. The decision gets delayed. The outcome is a weak compromise that fully satisfies no one. People see you as someone who can't make tough calls. You've demonstrated that you value approval more than outcomes. A conflict needs resolution. Instead of making a clear call, you try to keep both sides happy. You make vague statements about both having valid points. The conflict continues. People see you as someone who won't take a stand. You've shown that you're more concerned with being liked by both parties than solving the actual problem. A direction needs to be set. Instead of choosing a clear path, you try to accommodate every suggestion. The direction becomes muddled. Execution suffers because no one knows what's actually prioritized. People see you as someone without clear vision. You've broadcast that you don't have the strength to choose one path and commit to it. The pattern is obvious. Consensus-seeking delays decisions, creates weak outcomes, and destroys respect. Decisive action creates clear direction, produces strong outcomes, and builds respect. Let me tell you about 2 leaders facing the same challenge. Leader A wanted everyone to like him. When his organization needed to cut costs, he held endless meetings gathering input. He tried to find cuts that wouldn't upset anyone. He made small cuts across everything rather than strategic cuts in specific areas. The cost savings were insufficient. The cuts were so broad that they weakened everything without fixing anything. People lost respect for him because he clearly couldn't make hard decisions. His attempt to keep everyone happy made everyone unhappy with his leadership. Leader B prioritized respect over likability. When his organization needed to cut costs, he analyzed where cuts would be most strategic. He made clear decisions about what to cut deeply and what to protect completely. Some people were very upset because their areas were cut significantly, but the cost savings were achieved. The protected areas could function well. People respected him because he'd made a clear strategic decision and owned it. His willingness to upset some people to make the right call earned him respect even from those who disagreed. The difference wasn't that Leader B didn't care about people, or Leader A was more compassionate. The difference was Leader B prioritized making the right decision over being universally liked, while Leader A prioritized approval over effectiveness. One built respect through decisive leadership. One destroyed respect through weak consensus seeking. The psychological principle here is that humans respect clarity and decisiveness more than consensus and agreement. We might like people who agree with us, but we respect people who have the courage to make clear decisions even when those decisions are unpopular. Decisiveness signals strength. Endless consensus seeking signals weakness. Here's how you shift from seeking consensus to making decisions. First, gather input strategically, not universally. You don't need everyone's opinion on everything. Identify whose input actually adds value. Gather it efficiently, then make your decision. Don't use input gathering as an excuse to avoid deciding. Second, make decisions based on what's right, not what's popular. Your job is to produce the best outcome, not to win a popularity contest. Sometimes the right decision will upset people. Make it anyway. Your commitment to good outcomes over good feelings is what earns respect. Third, communicate decisions clearly and own them completely. Once you've decided, explain the decision with clarity. Don't hide behind "we all agreed" or "this is what everyone wanted." Take ownership. I've decided X because Y is far more respectable than "we sort of came to a consensus that maybe X might work." Fourth, accept that decisive action will create some unhappiness. Not every decision will please everyone. Some people will disagree, some will be upset. This is normal and acceptable. The alternative, making no decision or weak compromises, upsets everyone eventually. Better to make some people temporarily unhappy with a good decision than make everyone permanently unhappy with leadership paralysis. Fifth, stand by your decisions even when pressured. People will push back on decisions they don't like. They'll argue, complain, or try to get you to reverse course. Unless new information genuinely changes the situation, maintain your decision. Reversing decisions under pressure shows you can be manipulated. Standing firm shows you have conviction. When you stop seeking universal approval and start making clear decisions, you stop being seen as someone who tries to please everyone and start being seen as someone who can actually lead. That shift from liked to respected is the difference between being popular and being powerful. Number 5. Likability fears judgment. Respect demonstrates value. When you try to be liked, you're terrified of being judged negatively. You hide your accomplishments to avoid seeming arrogant. You downplay your skills to avoid threatening others. You minimize your success to avoid envy. You think this modesty will make people comfortable with you. Instead, it makes you invisible, forgettable, and undervalued. Machiavelli observed that those who hide their value get treated as if they have none. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. If you appear to have no exceptional value because you're hiding it to be liked, people will treat you as having no exceptional value." Respect comes from demonstrated capability and visible value, not from false modesty and invisible achievement. Here's what happens when you hide your value. You accomplish something significant. Instead of sharing it appropriately, you stay silent because you don't want to seem like you're bragging. Nobody knows about your achievement. When opportunities arise requiring that capability, nobody thinks of you because they don't know you have it. Your attempt to be modest has made you invisible. You have expertise that could help others. Instead of offering it, you wait to be asked because you don't want to seem pushy. Nobody asks because they don't know you have that expertise. Problems go unsolved that you could have solved. Your attempt to be humble has made you irrelevant. You achieve success. Instead of owning it, you credit everyone else and minimize your role because you don't want to seem self-centered. People believe your minimization. They think you were just lucky or barely involved. Future opportunities go to people who own their success. Your attempt to be liked through false modesty has destroyed your perceived value. The pattern is consistent. Hiding your value to avoid judgment destroys respect. Demonstrating your value appropriately builds respect. Let me tell you about two professionals with opposite approaches. Professional A accomplished significant things but never talked about them. When asked about achievements, he'd deflect or minimize. He thought this made him humble and likable. Instead, it made him forgettable. When his company considered promotions, nobody thought of him because nobody knew what he'd accomplished. His modesty had made him invisible. His fear of seeming arrogant had cost him opportunities. He was liked in a vague way, but not respected or valued. Professional B accomplished significant things and communicated them appropriately. She'd share successes in relevant contexts, own her contributions clearly, and make sure key people knew her capabilities. Some people thought she was too self-promotional, but when opportunities arose, everyone thought of her because they knew what she could do. She got promoted repeatedly because her value was visible. Her willingness to demonstrate her worth had created opportunities. She was respected and valued, which mattered more than being universally liked. The difference wasn't that Professional B was arrogant or Professional A was more capable. The difference was Professional B made her value visible while Professional A hid his value to avoid judgment. One got respect and opportunities. One got neither. The psychological principle here is that humans respect demonstrated capability. We can't respect value we don't know exists. When you hide your achievements and capabilities, you're not being humble, you're being invisible. When you demonstrate your value appropriately, you're not being arrogant, you're being strategic. Here's how you shift from hiding value to demonstrating it. First, document your achievements systematically. Keep track of what you accomplish, problems you solve, value you create. This isn't egotistical, it's professional. You can't communicate value you haven't documented. Second, share achievements in appropriate contexts. When relevant to a conversation, project, or opportunity, mention what you've accomplished. This isn't bragging, it's providing relevant information. I solved a similar problem last year by doing X is not arrogance, it's helpful context. Third, own your contributions clearly. When you're part of a success, accurately describe your role. Don't claim credit you didn't earn, but don't minimize credit you did earn. I led the team that achieved X is accurate if that's what happened. Saying, oh, it was nothing, I barely helped when you did most of the work is lying, not humility. Fourth, make your expertise visible. If you have valuable knowledge or skills, make sure relevant people know. Write about it, speak about it, demonstrate it. Hidden expertise might as well not exist. Visible expertise creates opportunities. Fifth, accept that some people will judge you negatively for demonstrating value. They might call you arrogant or self-promoting. This says more about their insecurity than your behavior. People who are confident in their own value aren't threatened by yours. The judgment of insecure people is the price of respect from secure people. When you stop hiding your value to be liked and start demonstrating your value appropriately, you stop being overlooked and start being respected. The visibility you create isn't arrogance, it's professional necessity. If nobody knows what you can do, nobody can respect you for doing it. You've just learned the dark power of respect and why it's infinitely more valuable than likability. But this knowledge means nothing if you don't apply it. Here's what you need to do right now. Look at your life honestly and ask, where am I prioritizing being liked over being respected? Am I compromising my standards for approval? Am I avoiding necessary confrontation? Am I making myself too available? Am I seeking consensus instead of making decisions? Am I hiding my value to avoid judgment? Identify your weakest area, then make one change today. Set one boundary you've been avoiding. Have one difficult conversation you've been delaying. Say no to one request you'd normally accept. Make one decision you've been postponing. Demonstrate one achievement you've been hiding. One action today starts the shift from being liked to being respected. But remember the fundamental truth. This isn't about becoming mean, arrogant, or difficult. This is about valuing yourself enough to expect others to value you. This is about prioritizing what matters over what's comfortable. This is about building real power instead of superficial popularity. The world doesn't need more people trying desperately to be liked. The world needs more people worthy of respect. People with clear standards they maintain. People who address issues directly. People who value their time and expertise. People who make decisions and own them. People who demonstrate their value unapologetically. That person can be you, but only if you stop playing the wrong game. Stop optimizing for likability. Start building respect. The temporary discomfort of that shift is nothing compared to the lasting power respect creates. If this video changed how you see social power, hit that like button. If you want more content about building real influence and respect, subscribe and ring that notification bell. Drop a comment. What's one thing you're going to stop doing to be liked and start doing to be respected? Your commitment might inspire someone else to make the same shift. Until next time, remember this. Being liked makes you comfortable. Being respected makes you powerful. Choose power. Stop being liked. Unlock the dark power of respect. Stay strong. Stay principled. Stay respected.